welcome to a special edition of the Girly Crew Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster, and we've had, in the past 2 or 3 months, James Comerford on from Replenishing Care and Technologies, and Replenishing Care and Technologies, which is great for almost anything athletically you want to do, will have a store opening up on their website here next week sometime. And I wanted to let everybody know that next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, me and James Comerford will be on. And James will kind of walk you through the process of the store, what the store entails, where you can get the PMF, the box, all of that good stuff. And it is all good stuff. I highly recommend everything with Replenishing Care and Technologies. And right now, we would like to replay the first store show we did, which kind of gave you an overview of what they do at Replenishing Care and Technologies. And I want to reiterate, Tuesday, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, James Comerford will be on to talk about the store. He can tell you where you can find the store, what the store will entail, the products you can get there. But right now, let's go back and look at an interview we did about 6 or 7 weeks ago with James Comerford to tell you about the Replenishing Care and Technologies model.
Tuesdays are the worst. They're all that stands between you and the downhill part of the week. But now they're a lot less worse, because Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs are buy one, get one free traditional wings. So Monday, you may kick off the week. Wednesday, you may have a cool nickname. Thursday, you might be the almost weekend. But watch your back, because Tuesdays just officially became Wing Tuesdays. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar! Buy one traditional wings order and get one of equal value free. Participation and promotional details vary by location. Check in with your favorite Buffalo Wild Wings to learn more about this offer.
Welcome to a special edition of the Girly Crew Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster, and today we have a guest who hasn't been on in, it's been months, maybe a year. We have from Replenishing Care and Technologies, the founder, owner, James Comerford. How you doing, James?
I'm doing very well, Mike, and yes, it has been a little while, and it's great to be back.
It's great to have you, and let's just start off for people that don't know, that haven't heard you before, but what exactly is Replenishing Care and Technologies?
Replenishing Care and Technologies, simply stated, is a personal best performance and personal best fitness system that helps people perform at their best by helping their bodies heal and repair at their best. So it's pretty basic when you think about it, but that's what we do.
All right, so what is Replenishing Care and Technologies for?
Our clients are mostly elite athletes, as well as the athletic trainers and health, wellness, and fitness professionals who care for them. I should also point out, though, that what we offer adapts to whatever an individual has in his or her body to perform, heal, and repair. So it helps weekend warriors like myself and just about everybody else be at their best, too.
So would I assume by what you just said that you also use this yourself, or use the products yourself?
You betcha. I'm probably its poster child. I've literally used Replenishing Care and Technologies to go from a wheelchair at 40 with Guillain-Barré syndrome to pain-free, prescription drug-free daily workout in my 60s. And if you want a brief picture of Guillain-Barré, I'll give you about 7 seconds to put yourself in a situation. For anybody listening, or for you, Mike, imagine yourself in a baseball catcher's crouch and not being able to fall out of it. And I mean fall. Guillain-Barré literally took away every ounce of strength in my body, and as I say, briefly put me in a wheelchair. And that happened when I was about 40 years old. So, I speak from a point of somebody who's done very well by what I advocate for. And just as a bit of an add-on to that, in 2016, when I was 60, I used Replenishing Care and Technologies to return to full workout 9 days after hernia surgery. And believe me, if it'll do that for me, who's, again, a weekend warrior at best, there's a whole lot of upside for those with the DNA of a true athlete.
Can you talk to our listeners and kind of explain how it works?
Yeah, I'd love to, obviously. RC&T, or Replenishing Care and Technologies, is a set of 11 plus cellular health technologies and tools that use and amplify the body's own ability to perform, heal, and repair. I kind of classify them into two groups. The first set of technologies give cells the resources they need to do what we need them to do and at the level we need them to do it at. And a great example of this is high-powered pulsed electromagnetic field, or PEMF therapy, that works like a battery charger for cells and gives them back the electric charge needed to function, perform optimally, and I stress heal and repair. And again, I stress heal and repair because cells are a lot smarter than us. And if you help them help themselves, they'll do a much better job of keeping us at our best than we can. The second set basically help the body achieve homeostasis or balance. CBD, which a lot of folks will be familiar with now with the recent kind of, burgeoning growth of it, for want of a better term, which powers up the endocannabinoid system toward the goal of homeostasis, is a great example of one of these technologies. And another is pelvic correction technique, which helps correct musculoskeletal imbalance and thereby reduces joint and back pain, as well as wear and tear and injury. And those who may have heard you and me chat previously may recall shows we did on PEMF and CBD, and I'm looking forward to doing update shows on these and other key technologies with you over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and I can tell the listeners this, the PEMF, for my son in his wrist, he was told a couple years ago he needed to have surgery on it. He's a quarterback and a baseball pitcher. And by using the PEMF machine, we didn't have to do the surgery. He's going to college on a full scholarship in about 3 weeks. So I know that worked. And with the CBD, I mean, it's done wonders for my entire family. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, this stuff is legit. And I know Steve Risley had neuropathy and was having all kind of trouble. And I started bringing up to him, you got to try the CBD. And then his son finally got him to start trying it. And this was something that bothered him for like close to a year. And when he started taking the CBD, everything got better exponentially quicker than what it had before. So when we look at this, is there anything else you want to say about the technologies in general before we start doing the individual shows?
Yeah, thanks for the lead-in. And by the way, congratulations to your son. I knew he was a very high-level high school athlete, and I'm delighted to hear everything has kind of fallen into place like that. So congrats to everybody over there. Basically, with the technologies, we've selected them over a long period of time. Or really, if you believe in law of attraction, sometimes it feels like many of them selected us. Each one of the technologies offers its own unique and specific benefit to cellular health. And I'll get into what those are when we do the actual shows. Each actually amplifies the contributions of the others as they're synergistic and more effective when you use them together. And you'll hear us use a term called stacking, which, isn't rocket science. We mean we stack things together so that you get the benefits of multiple things at once. And there's one of the great things about stacking, too, is there's overlap in key contributions from these independent technologies, such things as more energy, better sleep, less pain, reduced inflammation, better range of motion, reduced stress, better mental clarity, anti-aging, greater sense of well-being, weight loss, injury recovery, disease injury prevention. So it's designed to bring a whole lot of things to bear at once. It also, by stacking them, it minimizes the amount of time needed to feel the effects quickly and take advantage of them fully, because we're all very busy these days, and most of us like to see good results fairly quickly. And just as an added bonus to this, another great thing about the Replenishing Care and Technologies tools is they amplify the benefits of healthy lifestyle practices and also the benefits of athletic training and professional care. So if you're doing good things now, these things are only going to help improve the benefits. And I love when people are working with athletic trainers and professional care specialists, because, those kind of experts bring great things, and putting the replenishing care and technologies tools together with them just, gives you the best of all worlds.
Yeah, and
one of the other things I'll add, and I don't mean to drone on, but it's an important one. They also do no harm. So that's one of the very important things. There's a lot of things we do in today's society that are recommended to us that have a whole lot of warnings and other things with them. The technologies we work with have very, very few contraindications, and they, again, do no harm. So makes a pretty strong case for them, we think.
Yeah, and that's a big departure from what most of our listeners are used to. How did this come about?
Well, it's kind of an interesting thing looking back. The roots of replenishing care and technologies started actually in 2004 with a project I then called the Clinic of the Future. And as you might conclude from the word clinic, I started out using a traditional or Western medicine way of thinking, and being a best practice consultant, the first thing I did was make an alphabetic list of all the diseases and conditions that I could think of and kind of find online. And because we wanted to do something more, we sought new and improved ways for each condition in the areas of early detection, and kind of something I termed causal care, which was focusing on disease causes and underlying risk factors. And what actually happened that was really cool from all of that is that it led to a focus on things that worked at the cellular level. And what we also learned as part of that process is that technologies that work at the cellular level have a tendency to adapt to the specific DNA needs and, health status of each individual. And you actually tap into the innate intelligence of the body to heal itself. And, that actually turned our original Clinic of the Future model upside down, if you will, since once you enable, cells to heal and repair, they naturally address whatever they need to address. So in my case, I actually went from physiological needs that were based on kind of lingering things from Guillain-Barré over into emotional and even into spiritual, as I started to kind of move over into what it was I really needed for full health. And so I don't mean to do kind of a download here. I'll cut to the chase here. What it actually means is that when you help the body help heal itself and, kind of jump in where an individual is, what you start to see is people who are already described as fit or well will actually start to move to a place of even being more fit or more well. And that is particularly true around elite athletes who start to, see an up performance in what they do for a living and in better training and all those types of things. If you've got somebody who's dealing with some kind of a condition, you'll usually start to see systemic improvement and often symptomatic relief. The injured, or in my case, surgery or post-surgery, also see systemic improvement and faster recovery with less or no drugs. And I don't want to slam drugs, but, it's always better when we have fewer and fewer, of them and a smaller need. And so, when I went home from the hernia surgery, instead of taking an opiate that I was told to take while I sat down for 6 weeks, I started using PEMF. And there's actually a video of me running on a treadmill nine days later after the hernia surgery without ever really using the opiate, which I, for obvious reasons, I'm glad I never needed to take. The other things you start to see is basically everybody becomes a bit more resistant to illness and injury. And kind of one of the great things, too, is you can start to see things like aging and even loss of performance and such slowed down, often reversed and often dramatically. And in my own case, I'm doing things at 63 that are way beyond the DNA I have in terms of athletic ability, and certainly way beyond the norms of anybody who was, had the experience of being in a wheelchair when they were 40.
Yeah, so before we go to that, I want to go a little off topic, a little bit, because I noticed you said here, no matter what your lifestyle is, it helps. And I think that it is huge here to bring up the fact that if you have a healthy diet and you're already exercising, I think that what this could help, the improvements would be even more dramatic.
Yeah, there's no question of that. And I mean, people who've kind of put the investment, if you will, into exercise or pay attention to what they're eating, avoid the obvious things that aren't good for us, like smoking and, and some of the other things that are proven to not be to be very good for our health. You're going to expect to see, or will likely see, a much better response, or a very quick and kind of next level type of response. But I also don't want to discourage those who may not have necessarily followed those rules over the years, or are at a stage in their life right now where they really want to make changes and be the best that they can be, because this literally will start to work with whatever an individual has to work with, and wherever they are on a fitness, wellness, or health continuum. So, there's something in this literally for everyone, and that's why we're so excited about it.
All right, so how does somebody who's listening to the show today get access to the Replenishing Care and Technologies tools or learn more?
Yeah, well, thanks for that lead-in. Basically, our site is Replenishing Care and Technologies, and it's the letters R for Richard, C for Charlie, the word AND, and T for Thomas.com, so RCANDT.com. There, what you'll actually see is the explanation of kind of the replenishing care side of it, and also the replenishing technology side of it. On the care side, what you'll see is it's basically, a friend of mine suggested we think of it as kind of a recipe. So replenishing care is the recipe. It's the sum of the parts. It's where you put all of the pieces together. Our goal on that, incidentally, is to create a network of replenishing care centers where people will be able to access the tools that we've put together on kind of a consistent basis, so they get the benefits of them on an ongoing basis. We're in the process, obviously, of getting started with that, and it's not going to happen overnight. So for those who may want to get started a little quickly or more quickly in the comfort of their home, or set this up in a team training center or a corporate wellness center, or even a professional practice, you can get what we call a home version of Replenishing Care. Then on the other side, you'll see Replenishing Technologies, and that's the set of ingredients that go into the recipe. Some of the component pieces I've talked about already, but some of those, and I'll just go back on because they really warrant being touched on again. High-powered PEMF is one of the things that we advocate for very, very strongly. It's basically, again, a way of recharging your cells. And what it does is it gives them the electrical charge to basically be able to drive an abundance of biological processes in the body, and in that process, reduce pain, improve range of motion, increase energy, increase well-being. So that's you touched on that with your son, as you were kind enough to do a few moments ago. We also have an oxygen altitude contrast system that we're very big on. And it basically resets the oxygen markers in the body. And we're seeing even very elite and very mature athletes record personal bests after using this. So it's a great advantage for anybody really wanting a great boost to their overall health and their performance. The CBD, as you again touched on a few minutes ago, I had an opportunity, or have an opportunity, to work with what we call the world's most advanced CBD. It's an incredible gift to be able to offer this, and I started to really think that way after I learned about the endocannabinoid system. And if there's anybody listening to this and you really want to do yourself a favor, Google endocannabinoid system or go on our site and read about it. It's the body's most advanced and powerful system of neurotransmitters, and affects so many functions in the body that it's certainly something that you can do that you can expect to see or you can be confident is only going to do you, a world of advantage and good. And one of the other things, and I'll probably stop after this one because there is 11 and I don't want to go on and on here, but it's something we call Box Life Replenishing Care. It's a human performance technology that we offer, and other people offer it as well, but we think we do it in a very kind of advanced and kind of complementary way to the other things that we do. And simply stated, it's a system of insoles and socks. At the moment, you either put them on your feet or put them in your sneakers and step on them. It triggers a response in the dermatome receptors of the feet, which instantaneously triggers a response in the central nervous system and the brain stem, in which those two things in turn trigger a response in the autonomic nervous system and the somatic nervous system. When you put all that together, you basically upregulate your neurology in about 7 seconds. There's about a 30% increase in balance as well as dynamic and lateral stability. And it literally gave me a gear back running at 62. So pretty easy to advocate for any and all of those things just because of how well they work and how consistently they work.
All right, James. Now, if somebody wants to contact you, has any questions, where would they do that at?
Best thing is call me directly, please. My phone number is 647-289-3791. The other thing is you can email is my name. So it's James G. Comerford at rcandT.com. But you can get all of that if you go on the website. And once again, that is www.rcandT.com.
All right, James, and we want to announce that every Tuesday, and this Tuesday, we'll have James Comerford on to talk about the new store that will be on the Replenishing Care and Technologies website. So make sure you check us out at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, Tuesday morning, right here on thegruelingtruth.com. You can also hear it live through Spreaker. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. I want to remind everybody you can hear all our shows on iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you find sports podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for James Comerford, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.